Hello and welcome to IdealSpot Lab Hours. I'm Dakota McDurham. I am the host of the Lab Hours here at IdealSpot, and this is our weekly webinar series where we go through and help people better understand the platform and go into some of the more detailed parts of the platform, break it down, and just make sure that everybody who's following along gets a good understanding and is able to best use our products. So today I am joined today I'm joined by James Delvesco. He's one of our data scientists, and he's going to be on chat answering questions. So if anyone who is tuned in has questions, they can go down to the bottom of their screen and click the Q&A button. This will allow them to ask questions directly to James, and he will be able to get those answered and save them up for the end of our presentation when we'll go through and answer a few of the questions here on the webinar. Today, we are going to be doing a deep dive into some of the pre-built templates that we use here at IdealSpot. So these are templates also known as our quick start reports if you're looking at the dashboard. And we're going to just walk through what we have built and how these can be very helpful to you as users, and how these can help speed up the processes of data analytics and can help give you some ideas for what sort of data sets your competitors are using and other people using the IdealSpot platform are using with their data analytics. After going through these pre-built templates, we're going to launch in and really dig into how you can use these templates to compare locations and specifically look at the comparison report that is one of our pre-built templates. So we will give just one more moment to see if anybody else wants to jump on, and while we do that, we're going to switch over to the platform and we can jump right in. All right, so here we are. This is my IdealSpot account, and this is the dashboard. So this is where everyone is placed in whenever you log into idealspot.com. It's kind of the hub for everything that you're doing. Here on our left-hand side, we have our standard menu. And so today we're going to be working from the dashboard, and we're also going to be working from the My Templates page. So this is under Workspace Resources over here in the left-hand menu bar. So we're going to start out with these quick start reports. These are our 4 most commonly used templates at IdealSpot. We have our traffic counts, which is our #1 most regularly used data set here at IdealSpot. We have a lot of customers that are just coming in, and this is the main thing that they're interested in, is traffic counts. We also have a retail location evaluation and a restaurant location evaluation. These are going to be templates for people who are in the retail industry and in the restaurant industry and are just getting started. It will help give you some ideas for different insights that we have found over our time working with people within these industries are common to put in a report. And then we have our demographics report. And so this is going to just highlight some of our most frequently used demographic data sets. So to start this off, let's go ahead and build a vehicle traffic counts report here, and we can show you just how fast this is. So if we want to build a report, we can zoom in to, here I have some preset locations all in Waco, Texas. And let's go ahead and go with the new location. So just as in building all of our location analysis reports, there are 4 steps, and they're kind of tracked up here at the top of the report. So we chose our report type. Now we're choosing our locations. Let's go ahead and select the new location. And then we can move on to our trade areas. So anytime that you are building the report, you select down beneath the map, and then you can click next up above the map. So next trade areas. Now that we have our location set, let's go ahead, and since we're looking at traffic in this one, for our demographics, we'll look at drive times. Let's just go ahead and pull a 5-minute drive time. This is a location in downtown Waco, and so 5 minutes will get us a good area, a good portion of Waco, Texas. All right, next we can go back up above the map and click Next Run Report to get our data. So at this point, we're pulling the region data. This is drawing our drive time and running everything through our various servers, collecting all of the data that is preset within this template for that area. And so here in our traffic templates, it is pre-built with 3 different traffic insights. So let's go ahead and make the first one viewable. We have our side of the road traffic for both sides of the road. And so this is our average annual daily traffic number, along with our traffic broken down by the day of the week and the time of day. And then we have another visualization down here to help you see if any specific days of the week have more traffic than others. We can also look at this by the directional traffic. So we can look at northbound traffic or southbound traffic. And in this traffic report, if you're using the template, it automatically includes 3 insights for the same region, and it automatically includes one of them displaying both directional, one displaying northbound and southbound, or east and west, or whichever directions that road is headed. So we can go down to the next one is our southbound traffic, and then our next is our northbound traffic. If the road that you are looking for is not the one selected, it's a fairly easy fix. You just go up to the, here, I'll show you one more time. I clicked through that a little quickly. So we'll go back. You come up to this pencil icon, the edit icon at the top of the insight. Select it. We come in and we can see that it is selected Austin Avenue. We can close out of that, and it's gonna show us every road that we at IdealSpot have traffic counts for, highlighted in blue. So let's say we wanna look at the other side of the block. We can select that and see what the traffic on Franklin Avenue is looking like. And then just go up to the top of the insight in this insight bar in blue and click the check mark to save and rerun the insight. So we can see Franklin traffic is a little higher than Austin Avenue. Also included in our traffic templates, we have a few just basic demographics. So we have our residential population, our total employee count. So this is going to be the amount of people during the day that are employed in that area. We have our seasonal population over time. So this is going to show how the fluctuations of workers throughout the year in that area. Our transient population. So this is going to focus more on visitors to the region and how that fluctuates over time. And that's it in this one. Remember, all of these demographic data sets have been collected for the 5-minute drive time that we selected while building this report. So this is our quick traffic report, our vehicle traffic counts template. So let's go back to the dashboard and we can jump on into the next one. So again, anywhere you are in the app, this left-hand menu is always present. And if you want to come back to the dashboard, you can select this dashboard button here on the left-hand side, or you can click the IdealSpot logo in the upper left-hand corner, and it'll bring you right on back to the dashboard. So next, we'll run the demographics report. This is going to be the best report to run if you're in a new area, or if you just want to know what the demographics are for your area and you're not quite sure how to get started. You can just run this. It'll include most of our most asked for data sets, and then you can go from there. So let's choose our high performing business for this one. And then after selecting it, we go into trade areas. Let's say this time we want to do a ring radius, but Waco's not a big town, so let's do a half-mile radius. And here we can see our trade area. So this is going to be a big portion of downtown Waco included here. And we can go up and next run the report. So this report is going to take a little longer to run than the last one because it is selecting a lot more data sets. I believe we had 4 insights in the last one, and our demographics report is going to run closer to 12. Also, we just chose 1 trade area. You can choose up to 3 trade areas, and as you choose more trade areas, it'll be gathering a lot more data. So just know and be prepared for it to take a little bit longer if you are using multiple trade areas. So now, scrolling down through this report, it starts with our trade area map showing us where we gathered the data for. And then it shows us one of our coolest features. This is going to be the customer summary. And so the customer summary is kind of our one-pager overview of the rest of the report. And if we look through, it's going to include all of the other insights that we have selected in this report and just give us an overview of what those numbers are. So in this report, we'll be able to look through. We have our age by gender, ethnicity, language, household income, search engine demand, male population, educational achievement, residential population, female population, total employee count, total households, and our ancestry insight. Another way, if you're interested in seeing what all insights are in your report very quickly, is you can look at the insight menu. On our left-hand side, it's going to be next to our main menu and pop up anytime you're in a report builder. You'll have this insight menu for the location reports. And it will show you everything that is currently added to the report. An even quicker way, and something we touched on last week in the webinar, is up at the top here in our insight information bar, we have a reorder insight key. And if you click that, you can see everything that is in the report currently, and it allows you to move them around if you need to. So that's a quick and easy way to look at your report. So if we want to scroll through here, we have our residential population insight. And just as is the case with all of our insights, we have a few different ways you can view it. Listed up here at the top of the insight, in the top left-hand corner of the insight, as opposed to the whole web page, we have a few different views. So you can look at it in a trend line chart. You can look at the trend line chart values relative to land area. We also have a table view that shows you over time. And if you have multiple trade areas and you're wondering which one it's for, it says right underneath the insight name, 0.5 mile ring. And you can also click the trade area map to get a visualization of that. So now we can scroll through this report. We also have our total employee count. This is going to be the daytime employees within this half-mile ring. Our report only generates the first few insights for visualization. This is in order to help things speed up and help you view the report quickly without it slowing down your web browser. But if you do want to scroll through an entire report, it's fairly simple. You can just click Show All down here, or you can load a few more insights at a time. So we'll click Show All, and we can zoom through and look at the rest of our insights. So we have our total households. This is the total amount of households and how that has changed over time. We have our household income insight. This one shows you the relative is the standard. And if we want to click into the next view, we also have the household income bucketed into $5,000 buckets, and it has the median household income, average household income for this area. So this is one of the insights that you may want to click through and look at the different options for how you can visualize it. Next, we have our gender. And so this is going to show the breakdown of gender relative to population. We can also look at raw numbers, or you can look at a pie chart. We can see that in Waco and downtown Waco, it looks like we have a little bit more males than we have females. We have our ethnic breakdown, our educational achievement breakdown. And so this is everything from students in school under 9th grade to high school students, to people whose highest level of educational achievement was high schoolers, some college, associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's, professional's degrees, and doctorates. So it's a pretty well broken out educational insight. We also have language and ancestry. And then we have our age broken down by gender. And last, we have our social media, this is our search engine demand. So we have social media and search engine demand for across the nation. And so these are pre-selected categories that you can go in and edit and choose the one that makes the most sense to your business. And for search engine, we see here, this is how many people have Googled barbecue, burgers, seafood, and sushi in this region. And so we have it relative to total searches along with the raw numbers. All right, so that's our demographics report. Let's go back to the dashboard. And we can see we also have our retail and our restaurant evaluation. We'll get into those in a second, but first I want to go on to the rest of our templates, walk through everything else that we have, and then we'll dive into a few of these more industry-specific ones. So to go to the My Templates page, we just go over to the left-hand side to our menu bar and click My Templates. And we'll see I have one template that I built in this account. We built this in last week's webinar, and it is this is something that is available to all of our pro subscribers. You're able to build your own templates to help you run reports faster, but any subscriber, basic or pro, has access to the rest of these templates and can run them at any time. So we'll go through the full list here. We have our retail locations, our car wash location, the psychographics, behavior, and demand template, our from scratch. This is going to just be building the report yourself. We have a filtered search template, or determining best locations. This is going to be for the filtered search product, which is available only to pro subscribers. We have the analyze my site or a competitor site template, a gym and fitness location template, one to compare my site to the competitor. We'll be going through this one in a moment. Then we have our restaurants, our bulk location report template. This template, bulk location reporting, is going to give you a table of up to 10 locations, and it's again something that is only available to our pro level subscribers. We then have the vehicle traffic counts, demographics that we both went through, and our CLA template report. The CLA template report is a cool one. It is one that we built with the Coin Laundry Association, which is a partner of ours. And it is specifically for companies that do laundry and laundry-related businesses. And so this is our most specific of any of our business-based templates. So next, let's go up here and we'll dive into the restaurant location evaluation to just show you what one of our more specific business-based templates looks like. So from this page, you can remove any template if you don't think you'll be looking at it anymore. You can view the details of any template, and so you can see which insights are included in it without actually building it, or you can build the template. So we're going to go ahead and build this report. We're going to choose, say we'll go with competitor number 1. You can select, choose, move on to choose our trade area. Let's go with a 10-minute drive time. And now this is going to be gathering all of our data. All right. So in our restaurant location evaluation, we have our trade area map, our customer summary, the residential population insight, our employee count insight, household income, our vehicle traffic, and then we have our search and social media insights. And so let's say we're a burger restaurant. Running our template, it just says restaurants in general, but we can go in and we can edit this template in order to be more specific to our needs. So let's go ahead and click the edit button in the top bar of the insight. And we can add up to 4 search or social categories to any search or social insight. So let's go ahead and add burgers. Say fast food restaurants and burgers. And then we can click save and let this regenerate and show that in raw numbers, we have people around 178,000, almost 179,000 searches for restaurants in this area. And of that, 13,000 of those are for burgers in particular. So that's a pretty good number. We can do the same thing with social media interest, which is going to be likes and interactions on Facebook with companies or pages that are tagged with this burger, or in this case, restaurants category. And then next we have our spending data. And so this is going to be per capita, so per person, how much people are spending on these categories. So we have food away from home, and this is in a week's time. So it looks like within our trade area, people are spending on average $20 a week on food away from home. They're spending a little less than $20 a week on meals at restaurants. We have lunch, dinner, and breakfast and brunch as categories to look at. And then we have our household size insight. So this is going to be pretty typical for most of our business-based templates. The search, social, and spending preset categories are going to be the big thing that changes when you're looking at the restaurant location evaluation as opposed to the retail location evaluation, or our more specific ones for car washes and for fitness businesses. So let's go back to my templates, and we're going to walk through the last template that I want to take y'all through today. And so this is going to be the compare my site to my competitors template. This is going to be a quick way to just get in and look at how your site varies from your competitors. So we'll go ahead and build report. Excuse me. So for this report, we want to select more than one location. So let's say we want to look at our prospective location, and we want to compare that to 2 of our competitors. So competitor 1, competitor 2, and our prospective location. And we selected the one that we want to analyze directly in our select column, and the 2 that we want to compare in our compare column. All right, now let's choose our trade area. Let's go down, and these are all fairly near each other for the purposes of our example here, I'm going to go ahead and do a 3-minute drive time around all 3 of these locations. All right, and now let's run the report. So this is generating our drive times around all 3 locations and pulling the data again for the insights that are pre-selected in this template. So you notice here that we have our 3 locations, and we have the drive time around each one of them. You can see we have some pretty solid overlap here. So if you are looking at a new place and looking at your competitors, this is important to look at and see what cannibalization you may have people with this overlap. All right, and now we have our customer summary. And our customer summary is really cool when looking at this comparison. So what it's going to do is it's going to take our 2 competitors and it's going to average them as our benchmark locations. So we can see if we're looking at total households, for example, our prospective location, the one that we're looking at moving to, has 4.4K households, whereas the average benchmark is 3.6. So we have more households than our competitors. And then this is the same along all of these other insights that are pre-selected. This also comes with our traffic insight and our trips data insight, which will show us where people are coming from when they are headed to our location. So here's where the comparison gets pretty cool if you're looking at it in detail. On each one of our insights, you can see your location stacked up to your competitors or to your other locations right next to each other. So we can see that in the healthcare category, our prospective location falls a little short on Google searches compared to these 2 other locations. But if we're restaurateurs, this location is looking a little bit better than the 2 other competitors. The same, we have our population, our employee counts, daytime population. This is going to be a breakdown of the people that are there in the daytime, what they're doing while they're there. So we have people who are working, people who are working from home, homemakers, retired or disabled people, unemployed people, children, and then a breakdown of different students. We also have our total households, our household income, educational achievement, age by gender. So it's a pretty standard report, but a cool thing about also with all of these templates is you're not locked into this. If you say, all right, this is all great, but I also need to know what the housing ownership looks like in this area, you can go over to our insight menu and you can add any insights that you want to this template. So we can go over, add housing ownership, save it, and there we go. We now know that our prospective location has more owner-occupied houses than the other 2 competitors, less renters, and less vacant households. Also, let's say that age by gender is not going to be something that's important to you. Even though it's included in the template, it's fine. You can go ahead and you can either hide it by clicking the Hide Details button, and that will not remove it, but it will make it not visible, and it won't be visible in any of your exports or printings. Or if you want to go ahead and delete it, you can click this trash can icon and go ahead and delete it from your report. So there we go. That was kind of an overview of our templates here at IdealSpot.com. Now let's go into questions and see if we have any questions about this or about anything on the platform that we can move into and talk about. All right. One moment. Great. It looks like we have a question about our trips data. Awesome. Let's scroll back down. I believe we had some trips data in this report, and we could talk a little bit about that. So our trips data is this mobile GPS trips insight. This is, in my opinion, one of the coolest insights we have here at IdealSpot. It is going to tell you where people are coming from or where people are going to when they are headed to or from your location. So right now, in this particular insight, we have a 50-meter ring and an origin search. So this is going to mean if we zoom in here, we can zoom into our location and see here's a 50-meter ring. And let's zoom back out a little bit, and it looks like people are coming from right here or right over here to get to this location. Any other questions? All right, so again, here we are. This is going to be the locations that people are coming from. So this is going to be a really cool insight if you have an existing location that you're trying to figure out where your people are coming from and who your audience is. You can run this insight and you can say, all right, if I have a business at this location, I have customers that are coming from Hewitt, and I have customers that are coming from this area right next to Beverly Hills. And so I can then find place locations in those areas and really do a deep dive to figure out who those people are and try to figure out why they're coming to my location and where other pockets of similar people are to come from. So this is something that we're going to do a future webinar focusing just on our traffic data and our mobile GPS trips data. And so if that's something you're interested in, you'll be getting a poll after this webinar from Brian Gorley, and please let us know if that's if you want more information on this trips or traffic data, and we'll make sure to get you invited to that upcoming webinar. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? All right. Yeah, it looks like we have a question about the customer summary insight and how that works. So the customer summary insight is one that we've talked about a little bit today. It is included in most of our templates, and so it's our kind of IdealSpot one-pager for data, and it allows us to look at all of the other insights that are in the report in just kind of a condensed form. So let's go up here. This is something that can be added to any report that you're working on. It is included in our formatting section of the insight menu. We also have our merge table and our text block. And so we're also having a future webinar just discussing formatting. If that's something that you're interested in, again, let us know and we'd be happy to invite you to that upcoming webinar. But the customer summary is a really cool one. You can edit it. So right now we have it including all insights, but if you just want it to include some of the insights in the report, if you have a bunch of insights and don't need all of them for your export, you can go through and you can select the ones that you want. So let's say we want daytime population, residential, and employee counts, but we don't need the rest of our insights in the report. We just want them for our own personal analysis. We can click save. And here we have a shortened version of the customer summary. Another cool thing is whenever you go up to the top right-hand corner and on any of our reports, you can print the insight, share the insight, download it, or save it as a template if you have the customer summary insight in your location report. So if you have included it, you can export just that summary. So if you have created a report that you really like and you want to share this one pager with any customers or with your board or with investors or whoever you want to share this with. If you're not interested in sharing a 30 or 40-page document, you can generate a shareable summary, and it will export this report, and we'll create a small report including just the customer summary. And then this link is shareable to anyone that you want to. All right. Well, it looks like that we're getting a little close to time, and so I'm going to go ahead and thank you all for coming to this webinar, and thank you for your questions. We're going to be hosting these webinars every Wednesday going forward, and so if you have more questions about IdealSpot, we're always happy to give personal demos, but these webinars are a great way to learn about new features and get a more in-depth dive into the platform. So everyone, please keep an eye out for an email from Brian Gorley at idealspot.com, and there will be a little bit information and a little bit of a poll about how this webinar was and if you enjoyed it and what you'd like to change, and we're very open to feedback about how and what we should be covering in our future webinars. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.